Hey guys, it's D, welcome back, and in this video we're going to be talking about Scream 7 because there are a lot of new updates that we need to cover. And I said I'd be covering all updates for Scream 7 since the beginning to the end, since it comes out next year most likely. So let's get to it. The first rumor, and remember, everything in this video, guys, take it with a grain of salt. We don't know if it is true. It's a rumor based on insiders who have some other knowledge that we don't. So just take it with a grain of salt. Now, first up, Scream 7 is allegedly supposed to take place 30 years after Maureen Prescott's death. Sydney's mother, played by Lynn McGree, who I've interviewed on this channel and met in person. Maybe I'll get to interview again sometime. Her death is supposed to be 30 years exactly to Scream 7, meaning it'll take place 30 years after her death. This is something big because obviously Maureen could be a major part in the story as she was for the first 3 movies, you know? And as we know, Scream 5, I think, took place somewhere around the 25th anniversary of the first Scream movie. So this one will be 30 years after Maureen Prescott's death, which means there could be a small, maybe 1 or 2 year time jump for this movie from Scream 6 to Scream 7. And getting into the next topic after that, something I'm very happy for actually is that this killer is allegedly not going to have a stab movie motive. And yes, I'm so happy that's happening. And you guys might be wondering why, because I make my own Scream movies. I love Scream. I love everything inside of Scream. That is true, but I feel like they've taken the stab movies to a ridiculously stupid level. You know, in Scream 6, there were so many nods to stab, and I get it. Stab is like the Scream inside of our world. But, like, it gets to a certain point where it's just too much, and they need to tone it down and, you know, step outside of that. Like in Scream 6, they were at the shrine, and they're like, we're in, like, a real-life stab movie, and Tara walks away. So it's like, you know, if like, you and your friends were getting targeted by Ghostface, would you really be saying, we're in a real-life stab movie? I mean, I'm sure you would, but you wouldn't be basing what you're doing off of in life off of the stab movies, you know? Now, I like the stab, you know, the whole lore with stab and all that in Scream, but I just think it got a little too much with Scream 6, and, you know, the killer motive for Scream 5 was, you know, definitely different and interesting, which wasn't too bad, but then Scream 6 kind of ruined the whole stab thing, and it just got too much. So I'm happy that they're allegedly, which I think they will, tone the stab movies down a little bit. There probably going to be some mention. Without a doubt, that's fine, because the stab movies are inside of Scream, you know? But just don't take it to the extreme level where it gets too stupid. And another thing people are asking now about Scream 7, getting into the new topic, why is it taking so long? It could have been filming already. They writ the script already, from what we've all heard. I'm sure the script is done. Sydney's, Nev Campbell has gotten her script. But why is it taking so long? That's what people are wondering. And this is because Spyglass does not want to rush this movie. In light of everything that happened to Melissa and all of that stuff, right? They don't want to rush out another movie, because then it could show they're not too caring with it. You know, they just want to make movies and not have the thought put into it, you know? So they really want to drag out the length of this, you know? And to be honest, making Scream 3, like my Scream 3 right now, I want to get filming done, but I do want to give it a little length before it comes out for the marketing, like a good while, not like a while, but like, you know, a decent amount, because I want the marketing. I want to release other movies and films and all that stuff in between that, just give it the hype up. Just really for marketing and excitement, you know? So I can understand why they're doing this, because I'm doing it too. They want to just lengthen it out longer, you know? Stop making movies year after year. Just take a break. And they want to really, another big point of this, they really want to focus on the quality of it. And I'm sure that's all because of Kevin Williamson and his team. You know, they really want to make sure this movie is high quality. After everything that happened with Scream, like, you know, Melissa and all that, they want to make sure this movie is good, high quality, and cared for. So that's what they're doing. They're putting good amount of work into this movie. That's probably why it's taking so long. But the final product will probably be worth it. Now, getting into more of the story of Scream 7, these rumors, I wouldn't really consider them spoilers because we don't know if they're true or not yet. They could be, they might not be. So if you don't want to know something that might be true next year, definitely click off this video really quick and come back to the other timestamp. But basically, it's rumored that the opening kill of Scream 7 will be extremely personal to Sydney. And we know Sydney doesn't have a bunch of personal people in her life other than her family, like Gail, Mark, and her kids, you know? Or maybe even a babysitter, because we know there's been rumors of a babysitter being in this movie for Sydney's kids, so it's definitely, that's possible. But that's just one of the things, is that it's going to be very personal to Sydney, which motivates this movie forward. The opening scene, you know, all the Scream openings are important. They somehow motivate the movie going forward, but this one is really, really going to be focused on the opening scene and how it affects Sydney and how she, you know, reacts to it and wants to get involved with Ghostface again. Now, I can eliminate one of these people from this opening scene, and that's definitely Gail. They can't kill Gail in the opening scene. That cannot happen, okay? She's my favorite character, and it's rumored, getting into the next topic now, that she will have a major, major plot in this movie. It's going to be a much larger character than in Scream 6. I think they underused her character. You know, her chase scene was like one of the best scenes in Scream, honestly. But, in Scream 6. But, so this movie's going to have a more Gail focus. Gail and Sydney, but mainly Sydney. But Gail will be there much more than Scream 6. And that's good because Gail is a very interesting character. She has a lot of depth to her, you know. Her books, all that stuff with Maureen, and the scandals with her, and, you know, Cotton Weary and all that. So that's in the past, but there's definitely more of her character that we don't know about, that we should know about, that we want to know more about, you know. She's just a very interesting character, and she's my favorite Scream character. So now getting into Kirby a little bit, Hayden Panettiere was allegedly, I think this is true, based on insiders and very reliable sources, Hayden Panettiere has been contracted for Scream 7, meaning she will come back as Kirby Reed. Now this is good. They're filming it in Atlanta. We know that for sure. So the movie could be taking place in Atlanta, which is where Kirby works, as she said in Scream 6. Or she could be going to Seattle. So it all depends. She does have a special, she said, in Scream 6. She has a special with investigating Ghostface attacks. So we know that there's more than just what we see on camera. There's more attacks or smaller things going out in the United States that Kirby investigates on. So with her out there, she will somehow get involved with Sydney's new story. Now, the last topic here, this is a very Sydney-driven movie, so she will be the main focus, but allegedly, I keep saying allegedly, Mark Kincaid, after the opening scene that has something to do with a big part of Sydney, Mark Kincaid will take his kids somewhere at the beginning of the movie and go into hiding while Sydney, and I'm sure Gail, will go after this killer. So we might not see Mark Kincaid for the whole movie until the end, I'm sure, or her kids until the end, but they might be absent in the middle of the movie, somewhere around that, just because they're going into hiding while Sydney goes and catches the killer, kills the killer, whatever it is, you know? That's just the last thing. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I will be making more of these videos, as I said, much more often now, so let me know if you have any updates you want me to cover, anything else you want me to cover, just leave it in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. We are in the process of filming Scream 3 right now, so it has been a little hectic here, but it is very fun, and we're happy to make another one of these movies. You know, it's a very good movie, I will say that. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.